Guangdong, China, October 5th, 2025. Powerful typhoon Matmo, with gusts reaching level 15, slammed into Hainan and Guangdong, triggering a red alert as torrential rain and violent winds battered southern China. By noon on October 5th, Matmo, the 21st storm of the year in China, made landfall along the coast between Wuchuan in Guangdong and Wenchang in Hainan. As it struck, the wind howled like clashing steel. The South China Sea roared. Waves surged and swelled as if ready to swallow the horizon. Towering waves as high as 4-story buildings pounded the coast relentlessly, sending fear across southern China's seaside towns where the storm landed. From early morning, Guangdong's typhoon alert stations blared red alarms, the highest level. Gusts hit 190 kilometers per hour. Rain fell so heavily it turned the entire coastal region into a sea. Tens of thousands of residents in cities such as Yangjiang, Zhanjiang, Maoming, and especially on Hainan Island were ordered to evacuate within hours. Ferries and flights were canceled en masse. Thousands of tourists were stranded in seaside hotels as the streets turned into a wasteland of wind and water. In Haikou, the capital of Hainan, viral footage on social media showed palm trees bending nearly to the ground, signboards torn away, and cars pushed dozens of meters by the wind. A local resident said in a live stream, "We heard a roar like a train rushing past. The glass doors were shaking, and then a giant billboard flew across the street, almost crashing into my house." The storm arrived during China's National Day holiday, when tens of millions were traveling. Numerous flights from Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Sanya were canceled. Haikou Airport came to a standstill, with thousands of passengers sleeping on the floor, hugging their suitcases as pillows. High-speed rail lines from Guangdong to the south were suspended due to risks of derailment from strong winds. Guangdong authorities issued 5 emergency orders: suspend school, suspend work, suspend outdoor activities, suspend waterway transport, and suspend tourism. Matmo was not just a strong wind, it was nature's continued wrath upon a country already battered by disasters. Just days earlier, catastrophic floods submerged Guangxi, where water levels rose over 3 meters, sweeping away houses and vehicles. Further northwest, Xinjiang was buried under blizzards that trapped thousands of cars as temperatures plunged below freezing in early October. In Hunan, a massive forest fire erupted after tens of thousands of drones fell from the sky in a technical malfunction, blanketing the region in smoke and flames. Now, Matmo struck like the final blow to a nation exhausted by calamity. At an emergency meeting on the morning of October 5th, the China Meteorological Administration warned, Typhoon Matmo is among the strongest storms to hit southern China in a decade. Its path cut straight through the tourism heartland of the south, one of the country's most densely populated areas. When it made landfall, gusts exceeded 190 kilometers per hour. Torrential rain of up to 300 millimeters fell within hours, flooding vast regions. In Zhanjiang, floodwaters reached the steps of shopping malls, while in Yangjiang, streets once bright with sunlight became vast, murky lakes where cars floated like paper boxes. Police and rescue teams worked without rest. Military rubber boats were sent into neighborhoods to evacuate stranded residents. On Hainan Island, the winds were so fierce they tore down steel bus shelters. Dozens of fishing boats failed to reach shore and were blown far out to sea. Videos from Sanya's port showed ships rocking violently, mooring lines stretched to the limit, some masts snapping, others capsizing. Authorities imposed a port lockdown, banning all vessels from setting sail for the next 72 hours. Matmo's fury plunged millions of households into darkness. Entire neighborhoods in Shenzhen and Zhuhai lost power overnight. On social media, people shared photos of candlelight and phone flashlights casting trembling shadows on the walls as the wind screamed outside. Factories and industrial zones were forced to shut down due to fears of power surges and collapsing roofs. Meanwhile, in Guangxi, still reeling from historic floods, rain from Matmo's outer bands poured down again, causing rivers that had barely receded to overflow once more. Images from Baisi showed hundreds of homes still underwater, with residents using makeshift boats to get around. Far to the north, blizzards in Xinjiang brought highway traffic to a standstill. Every region faced its own disaster, forming a chain of chaos across China during what should have been a festive holiday. Meteorologists explained that Matmo had developed rapidly due to an unusual buildup of warm, moist air over the South China Sea. Within just 24 hours, it evolved from a tropical depression into a super typhoon, leaving little time for authorities to prepare. China's state television broadcast non-stop warnings, urging citizens to absolutely stay indoors throughout October 5th. Reporters standing in the storm, rain pelting their faces, described scenes like a disaster film. Flying signs, uprooted trees, shattered restaurant boards. "This storm feels different," one reporter shouted through the roaring wind. "You can feel the ground shaking beneath my feet." In Guangzhou, though not in the storm center, the wind still toppled hundreds of old trees. Streets flooded, buses stopped running, and metro lines were temporarily closed. Crowds rushed to supermarkets to stock up on food, creating scenes of chaos unseen since the pandemic. One resident posted, "Buying instant noodles now is harder than getting a train ticket during Lunar New Year." Forecasts showed that from the afternoon to the night of October 5th, Typhoon Matmo would move inland, weakening gradually but still bringing prolonged heavy rain to the entire southern region. Authorities warned of possible landslides in mountainous provinces and secondary flooding along the Pearl River Basin. Rescue teams continued searching for missing people in isolated villages in Guangxi. Temporary bridges were washed away, leaving dozens of towns accessible only by air. When the rain eased, the post-storm sky turned gray like ash. Streets were littered with debris, broken branches, and shattered signs, the remnants of a night of fury. Residents stepped outside, gazing silently at shattered windows and overturned cars. No one spoke.